going through the bracket, throwing on a weight bar, motor wire location, and installing a track for a face mount application. So usually we operate a 3-man crew. What's wrong with my area? Usually we operate a 3-man crew. We'll have one guy here at the horses doing everything, then we'll have 2 guys getting everything prepped and ready. So the guy at the horses, he's going to start opening up all the boxes. We got the housing unit first. When you open it up, you're going to have the lid on there. You're going to have to take the lid off. Then you're going to have your brackets in there. Usually when you order it, it'll tell you motor right, motor left, whatever you did with the unit. Then for a face mount, like this display here, you want to slide your brackets in like that. Then we pre-drill everything on the horses. You see these designated slots here? We don't go through those. We make our own holes with a 1/4-inch self metal drill bit. It just grabs a lot better, beefier. If you go through there, you'll have that little bit of rock. You can even hear a little bit of rattle when the unit's running up and down. So just make sure you drill your own holes and go through there. Just a lot stronger. I think you guys come around here. So now it's time to install the hood. I showed you where you drill all the holes. That's where you're going to screw. Make sure you get everything plumb level square in construction. Make sure your hood's nice and level. Once you got that all screwed off, now it's time to install your roller tube and your motor wire location. Let you plug it in, do the hard wire. On this display, we got the motor wire coming out the side right here. Obviously, if you're doing a unit side by side, you're not going to want to drill a motor wire coming out the side. So the other location you can do is come out the face right here, right up top. But you do just want to make sure that you're kind of in line with that motor head. You don't want to come too far in or anything that would get your motor wire. You can come out the back or you can come out the top. If you do come out the top, and say you got no overhang or anything, you're worried about water getting in there, attached to the motor wire is a rubber grommet. You can use that, put the rubber grommet in there, feed your wire through there, go ahead and seal it all up. But if you are still worried about water getting in there, one thing we like to do is create what's called a drip leg. Just give a little bit of slack on that motor wire. So I keep it like that, so that way water will come down, it'll run down that motor wire and just drip away from that motor head. You ain't gotta worry about shorting it. Very often we do this because we don't come out the top too often, but for some reason, that is what we do. We'll take like electrical tape, silver tape, go ahead and wrap around it. I can loosen up the pan head screw, kind of tape it, rig it, whatever, and send it back and keep that tight out of the way so you ain't gotta worry about getting caught up. So once you got your motor wire figured out, now you're all plugged in, now it's time to sign your unit to a channel. After you sign it, one thing I like to do is go ahead and set a temporary up limit, because I'm guilty of it. I'll take the remote, put it in my pocket, put it in my tool pouch, whatever, and I'll accidentally hit the up button, and now this is starting to run up, and it'll get stuck behind the roller tube. Now you're getting back on ladders, kind of taking it out just to get the pros from behind it. So set your temporary up limit. Once that's all done, now you can go ahead and drop the screen. I like to drop it about chest height. Now if I can get a volunteer, does that somebody hold one end of the weight bar? Remember, pretend this is like a 15-foot long unit. So I like to hold it like this so I can work with 2 hands. Go ahead and pull that probe out of the way. Guide that keter right in there. Then I'm going to hold tension on this fabric so my partner can start sliding that weight bar. And once he gets there, he'll grab here. Go ahead and put this on. Slide that sweep out of his way. Now my partner can put his probe on. Okay, once he's on, now you have to put your probe screws in. Usually, like it comes with the tracks. There'll be a yellow label around it, parts and accessories. They'll have all your remote controls, your blue tools. There'll be a red bag in there with probe screws. And these are the probe screws that go in the probe to the weight bar. This is an older unit. This weight bar is real stripped, so these screws aren't grabbing. So just a heads up. I don't want you guys to think I did it wrong or something. Alright, pretend those grab. Once that's in, go ahead and send that back up to your temporary up limit. Now once you're that, now go ahead and measure for your tracks. You get left and right. You want to make sure you're saying right side. Measure that bottom of that end cap. I got 70 inches. Now I'll go ahead and shout out to my guy prepping all the tracks. So now the guy prepping all the tracks is unboxing everything. When you get your tracks, you your track insert will be in, but your track retainers, everything will be out. You'll have to put it all together yourself. So the 6-inch pieces will always go up top, then your track retainers will go in on the bottom. Parts accessory bag, got your glue tool. Just go ahead and start putting them on. You'll hear them click, you want to put them in. This thing will break sometimes, it's plastic. Just take a flathead screwdriver or even a paint scraper and just start getting them in until they click. So once it's all put together, now go ahead and when you measure, you want to make sure you're pulling from the top where the funnel is. Measure all the way down, find 70 inches, mark it. Before you make your cut, you want to take something magnetic. I like to use my driver, kind of locate that magnet, make sure you're not about to cut through it. But they'll tell you if you are going to cut through it, you have to take everything back apart, shift that magnet, put it all back together, and then make your cut. We have cut through before, and everything still operates fine, but it does mess up the heat saw. We cut everything with the skill saw out in the field. So once everything's cut, it's ready to go. That's why I like face mount, because you just guys came from inside mount, right? Inside, you have to take everything back apart, put it together. Not face mount. Once it's all together, go ahead and come here. You got your top funnel there. You want to line that keter up with it. Line that right up. You want to be flush with your end cap. You just get it somewhat plumb. Like I know my post is pretty plumb, so I'm just kind of matching that reveal, make sure it looks pretty good. Once that's in there, since we're going into aluminum, we're going to use a 3-inch aluminum self-tapper. I'll show you all different hardware that we do use for different applications. But for aluminum, we're going to use a 3-inch aluminum self-tapper. Go ahead, when I do that top screw, I don't over tighten it too much. And the reason that is, on face mount, there's a wedge in the back of the track, which is like a standoff. It kind of holds the track out just a little bit, so that funnel, or that keter will go down in that funnel pretty straight. So you just want to make sure you don't over tighten that. You're gonna have that gap there. That's their design purpose. So once I get that top screw in, now I can go ahead and do this track. Same thing, put a screw in the top, don't over tighten it. Then I'll stop right there. Then I'll go ahead and grab my remote and I'll run the unit. Go ahead and run it down. I'm checking my reveal, make sure it's staying pretty consistent. Make sure it's not like kind of going back and forth. Maintain a pretty good reveal, stay the same, no hang-ups, no rubbing, no nothing. I'll go ahead and send a screw in the bottom on both sides, then I'll run it up and run it down one more time. And the reason that is because when this stuff comes from factory, they just kind of throw it on the roller tube real quick and they ship it out. So once you get the tracks in, your unit's level, tracks are plumb, it'll kind of shift itself where it needs to be. It'll kind of position itself, kind of settle where it wants to go. So you want to run it up and down a couple of times. Run it up and down, everything looks great. I'll go ahead and fill in the rest of my screws. Now it's time to put the snap cover on. And with this snap cover, how we put these on, we'll put them in there, we'll take a rubber mallet and hit them on. But once they're in there, they're in there. There's no getting that out without damaging it. So what I like to do is cut a gap right there at the top, so that way I can take a spline hook tool and just kind of hook in there, and I can pull that out without damaging it. Because once you put your lid on, there's a sweep, there's bristles on there, that's going to cover that gap, so you'll never see that. Especially 10, 12, 14 feet up in the air, you won't see that. But for some reason, you forgot to cut that, and it's on there, and the unit's getting hung up, it's not working, you got to take this off. You can take a hood screw or a probe screw, start drilling through there slow. As soon as it hits the back of that track, we'll start working this out. Take needle nose, finish, pull it off. But the only thing is you're going to have a hole up there, but if you do it high enough, it won't be seen. So once you got your snap covers on, now it's time to put the lid. The lid's real simple. Just want to hold it 90 degrees to the unit. You can come in at a hard angle, but the easiest way is to do this. Once you know you're in there, go ahead and slam that, put it in there. Now there's two spots to put these hood screws. You come in here through the end cap, or there's a plastic tab underneath where you can just take a self-tapper and run it straight up to do that. The cleanest look is coming through the end cap into the hood, but if you're doing side-by-side units, you're not going to want to put a screw there. If you ever got to service this one, swap a motor, you're going to have to take this unit apart to get to this one. So that's what this tab is here for. If you guys can come take a look. See this plastic tab underneath? I'll take a razor blade, just make like a little mark on it so I know where it's at every time. Just send that little self-tapper screw up there. You don't need to pre-drill or anything. Just send it up, give it a little tug, make sure you grab, and they're good to go.
So if you're doing end to end, you need to locate that wire coming out the top.
I'm sorry, what was the question?
If you are putting them end to end, 2 units end to end,
Yes.
then the wire needs to come out the top.
So this display, we came out the side, but yeah, if we're buttoned, this wire would not be here.
Okay.
We either come out the face or come out the back. It just depends where our outlet is.
Okay.
Usually a lot of times we're just plug and play. We'll have like electricians come afterwards and we'll put an outlet here and just whoop, plug it right in for us. Unless we're like hard wiring or something like that.